everyone. As many of you know that I've started my own YouTube channel. And as for now, my old videos, they were all in Russian. And thank you so much for watching it. And I appreciate all your comments and likes and support. So I don't know where I'm going to. I'm looking for myself and I'm working in different genres and types of videos and topics. And I want to start to conduct my interviews in English. But I totally understand that I have accent and I moved to the United States just 5 years ago. So I decided to reach out to my friend who happened to be a speech pathologist to explain me how can I feel more comfortable talking in English in front of the camera, give me some tips to avoid some common mistakes.
Sasha, thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be a part of your channel. I would love to answer any questions that you may have. A few quick tips that are super helpful for anyone that finds that their accent might be interfering with their communication. First of all, know that your accent is beautiful. It's intriguing to us. It's unique. I'm sure sometimes it's annoying when it's the first question anybody asks about, but know that it probably is coming from a good place of interest, and it's different, and different is fun. But with that said, when you're a professional or you're trying to communicate your point and not what your accent is, then you have to think about how your accent might influence your message. And is the person you're talking to understanding you? That's the biggest thing when we're communicating with one another. But there are a few quick tips that can instantly make your communication more clear. The first one to talk about is just relax. When you're speaking in your native language, it's easy. You don't really even have to think about it. But when you're translating in your head or speaking in a non-native language, you might be a little more nervous. You might be more inclined to speed up, to rush, to speak more quickly to get it over with. So take a deep breath, be intentional, and take your time when you're speaking. Okay, so on to the second quick tip I have for you. Think about your speaking rate. You probably, if you're a fast talker in your native language, will also be a fast talker in your second or non-native language. This will interfere with how well you're understood. If you have any differences in your speech, in the way your sounds are produced, your intonation, or the pitch variations of your speech, if you speak quickly, the listener can't decode it. They can't decode those differences. If you can slow your speaking rate, still sounding natural, but have an intentional, slower rate, you will automatically have clearer articulation and your listener will have time to catch up to those differences. Third tip, I'll ask you a question. Do you find yourself hiding behind an email when you have to communicate in English? Do you find yourself rushing through the interaction? My biggest tip to anyone that wants to improve their English pronunciation is to practice their English. You can do this by listening to Native American speakers and the pitches that we use and the intonations that we use when we speak to sound natural. And you can watch movies in English. But the biggest thing is to speak with Native American English speakers so that you can hear it as you yourself are speaking English as well. So please don't shy away from English. Keep practicing, even if it's in front of the mirror to yourself.
Okay, Julie, so I will relax right now like that. Okay, thank you so much for all the tips you gave to me and hopefully to my friends. I definitely have to work on one of my biggest problem. I need to slow down, which I'm trying to do right now. And my accent makes me who I am, so I definitely want to bring my culture further down the line and see it also in my videos. Talking about the word video, when I first time met Julie, it was 3 years ago. I thought my English is great because I've been talking English, most of my life, and then her husband couldn't even understand me when I said, "Oh, have you ever watched this video?" He laughed so much and he couldn't really understand what did I mean. So luckily enough, Julie is a speech pathologist. So we practiced a lot to have this sound clear, to make it clear, like a video. And I still, it's like a common joke right now that I still cannot pronounce it like 100% right, but at least most Americans understand me. So let's find out, what are the most common mistakes do Russian speakers have talking in American English? Julie?
Good question, Sasha. First, why don't we take that word video and talk about why that's a difficult one for you. It actually highlights two very common errors that Russian speakers make when speaking in American English. So the first sound, V, video. In Russian, you don't have the sound wa. However, when you go to speak English, you sometimes may over-apply this sound that you know is a part of English, but isn't a part of your natural language. And the sound can be over-applied as video instead of video. On to the second sound in the word video, which is a vowel sound. One of a few of the common errors for Russian speakers are vowel sounds, but we will talk about this vowel sound specifically. So in American English, we differentiate between the sound E, which is a long sound, and I, which is a short sound. And Russian speakers tend to have some neutralized vowel kind of in between those two sounds. And so it doesn't sound like a full E or that short I. It's something kind of in the middle, which is a little bit of a distorted vowel. So in American English, really focusing on the difference of that E when the I says that E sound versus that short I sound. The third sound that I will talk about is one that, Sasha, you've asked me about in the past as well, your H sound. So in American English, when a word starts with an H, such as the word house, you can hear the sound H, but it's a soft introduction to that sound. House. It's not a hard, where you can hear the vibration of the air, such as what is commonly heard when Russian speakers say the H sound, like house. It is a little harsher sounding, so you have that soft, the air flows through the sound, house.
Thank you so much, Julie. I'm so happy that you did it for us. And just remember that English learning and any learning process, it's a journey. So keep practicing, and I'm sure you will see a result. And wish me luck, because I also will keep practicing, and hopefully you will see it in my next videos. Video.